Today, we're going to uncover the 7 critical signs that your German Shepherd is secretly in pain. We'll decode their body language and behaviors so you can become the hero they need, the one who understands them even when they can't speak and gets them help long before they ever have to cry out. Sign number 1. Subtle changes in gait, posture, and movement. The first and most frequently missed sign is a subtle change in how your German Shepherd moves. Because GSDs are so athletic, we often don't notice the small compensations they make until a problem becomes significant. You have to become a student of your dog's personal normal. Observe them when they get up from a nap. Is there a new stiffness that wasn't there before? Does it take an extra second to fully extend their back legs? That initial stiffness that seems to walk off is a classic early warning sign. Watch how they navigate your home. A new reluctance to jump onto the bed or into the car is a major red flag. These actions require a full range of motion in the hip joints, and any hesitation is a direct communication of discomfort. Pay close attention to stairs. Does your dog now take them one at a time, pulling themselves up with their front legs instead of bounding up with power from the rear? That's a huge clue. One of the most breed-specific signs you have to watch for is the bunny hop. When running, a German Shepherd in pain from their hips may move both hind legs together in a hopping motion to avoid the pain of extending their hip joints individually. You might also notice a swaying or wobbly walk, where their back end seems to move side to side more than usual. This can be due to looseness in the hip joints. These subtle shifts are often the first whispers of serious, breed-specific conditions. Hip and elbow dysplasia are incredibly common in German Shepherds, with data from the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals suggesting about 19% of GSDs are affected by hip dysplasia. These are genetic conditions where the joints don't form correctly, leading to painful grinding, inflammation, and eventually crippling arthritis. Another devastating condition is degenerative myelopathy, or DM, a progressive disease of the spinal cord that causes weakness in the hind limbs. Early signs can be incredibly subtle, like scuffing the tops of their hind paws or their hind legs crossing over when they walk. While DM itself isn't considered painful, the resulting weakness and instability can cause compensatory pain elsewhere in the body. Don't just write these small changes off as your dog getting older. Age is not a disease. More often than not, what we blame on aging is actually the progression of untreated chronic pain. Sign number 2. Altered vocalizations and breathing. Your German Shepherd's voice, or lack thereof, can be a barometer for their well-being. These dogs are typically not yappy without reason, so you need to learn to interpret their sounds. A dog in pain might start vocalizing more, but probably not how you'd expect. It's often not a loud yelp or cry, at least not at first. Instead, listen for quiet whimpers, groans, or moans, especially when they're lying down, trying to get comfortable, or standing up. You might hear a low grunt as they lower themselves onto their bed. These are involuntary expressions of discomfort they can't hide. On the flip side, a dog that was once vocal but has become unusually quiet could also be in pain. They may simply lack the energy or will to engage in their usual barks or playful growls. This kind of withdrawal is just as significant as adding new sounds. Beyond vocalizations, watch their breathing. Panting is normal when a dog is hot, excited, or has just exercised, but panting at rest, in a cool room, is a major sign of stress or pain. This type of panting is often shallower and more rapid. Pain elevates a dog's heart rate and stress levels, and panting is one way their body responds. If you notice your GSD panting at night or seeming restless, it's a strong indicator they can't find a comfortable position. Difficulty breathing can also be linked to gastric dilatation volvulus, or bloat, a life-threatening emergency in deep-chested breeds, like GSDs. The expanding stomach puts immense pressure on the diaphragm, making it hard to breathe. By observing your dog's breathing when they're calm, you'll get a baseline. Any deviation, unexplained panting, shallow breaths, or new grunts and groans warrants immediate attention. These aren't random, they are distress signals. Sign number 3. Changes in daily habits and routines. A dog's devotion to routine is one of the most reliable things about them. So, when a German Shepherd, a creature of habit and intelligence, suddenly changes their established patterns, it's a sign that something is wrong. One of the most telling changes is losing interest in activities they once loved. Has your GSD stopped bringing you their ball? Do they seem less excited when you grab the leash? Or do they lag behind you on walks instead of forging ahead? This isn't laziness or stubbornness. It's often a direct result of pain making their favorite things a source of dread rather than joy. Changes in appetite are another critical indicator. Suddenly refusing to eat or becoming an uncharacteristically fussy eater can signal anything from dental pain to serious GI issues. German Shepherds are prone to various digestive problems that cause chronic nausea and discomfort. For younger GSDs, a loss of appetite can also be a key symptom of pancreatitis, a painful bone inflammation often called growing pains. Sleep patterns are another window into their well-being. A dog in pain might sleep more, appearing lethargic and depressed. They might seem to lack the energy to engage with the family. On the other hand, some dogs in pain sleep less. They become restless, constantly getting up and lying back down, unable to find a comfortable position. This nighttime restlessness is a classic sign of chronic pain, often from arthritis. Also, watch for changes in social behavior. A dog that usually greets you at the door might now stay on their bed. A dog that loved being the center of attention may start isolating themselves in another room. This withdrawal is a common coping mechanism for pain. They're trying to protect themselves and find a quiet space. Don't take it as a snub. See it as a silent request for help. Sign number 4. Excessive licking, chewing, or grooming. Grooming is normal, but when it becomes obsessive or focused on one spot, it transforms from a habit into a symptom. Obsessive licking or chewing of a specific area is one of the most direct ways a dog can tell you this spot hurts. If you see your German Shepherd constantly licking a single joint, like a wrist, elbow, or knee, they are likely trying to soothe the deep, aching pain of arthritis or dysplasia. Think of it as their version of rubbing a sore muscle. This can become so persistent that it causes hair loss and inflamed skin, creating a secondary problem called a lick granuloma. Licking or chewing at their paws is also common. While it can be related to allergies, which are themselves a source of painful discomfort for GSDs, it can also be a sign of referred pain. Sometimes, discomfort in the back or neck can create a tingling sensation in the feet, prompting the dog to lick them. A noticeable change in overall grooming is also significant. A dog in pain might stop grooming themselves altogether. German Shepherds are typically clean animals, so if their once lustrous coat starts to look dull or unkempt, it could be because the twisting and turning required for self-grooming has become too painful. This excessive grooming is a self-soothing behavior. The repetitive motion of licking releases endorphins, the body's natural painkillers, providing temporary relief. It's a coping mechanism. So when you see this, look beyond the licking itself. Document where they're licking and share it with your vet. It's a roadmap to the source of their pain. If you've recognized any of these signs, even if they seem minor, it's a signal you can't ignore. Your dog is talking to you in the only way they know how. The single most important step you can take is to schedule an exam with your vet. Don't wait for things to get worse. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing pain effectively and giving your German Shepherd the quality of life they deserve. Now, let's get into the final 3 signs. Sign number 5. Restlessness and an inability to settle. A German Shepherd who is constantly pacing, repositioning, and just can't seem to get comfortable is a dog in significant distress. This isn't just fidgeting. It's a desperate search for a position that doesn't hurt. You'll most often notice this at night when the house is quiet. A dog suffering from orthopedic pain, like arthritis, will repeatedly get up and lie down. They might circle their bed, lower themselves with a groan, only to get back up a few minutes later and try again. Lying in one position for too long causes stiffness and pressure on sore joints, so their restlessness is a clear sign they can't find relief. However, this sign becomes terrifyingly urgent when it's related to bloat, or gastric dilatation volvulus, GDV. This is an acute, life-threatening emergency that German Shepherds are highly predisposed to because of their deep chests. Bloat is when the stomach fills with gas and twists, cutting off blood flow. A dog with bloat will be extremely restless and unable to settle. They will pace anxiously, Look back at their abdomen and might adopt a praying position. Back end up, front end down. The most telling sign is when this restlessness is paired with non-productive retching. They try to vomit, but nothing or only white foam comes up. Their abdomen may also look swollen. If you see your German Shepherd pacing restlessly and trying to vomit without success, this is not a wait-and-see situation. GDV can be fatal within hours. You must get your dog to an emergency vet immediately. Sign number 6. Increased irritability, sensitivity, or aggression. One of the most heartbreaking signs of pain is a sudden change in temperament. A sweet, gentle German Shepherd who suddenly becomes grumpy, reactive, or even aggressive is often a dog who is hurting. This is known as pain aggression, and it's a defensive reflex, not a malicious act. This might show up as your dog growling when you approach them while they're resting. They might snap if you touch a specific sore spot. From their perspective, if every pat on their back sends a jolt of pain from a bad hip, they'll quickly learn to warn you away. They're anticipating the hurt and trying to protect themselves. This sensitivity might also be aimed at other pets or even kids. A dog who once tolerated a puppy's playful antics might now snap to maintain their space. They aren't suddenly mean. They're trying to manage an environment that feels physically threatening. Their world has become unpredictable, so they retreat into a defensive bubble. Sometimes the irritability is more subtle. Your dog might just seem moody or less tolerant. They might guard their bed or food bowl more intensely. This is another form of self-protection. If your dog's personality seems to have changed, or they're suddenly lashing out, pain should be the very first thing you investigate. Before you label the behavior as bad or call a trainer, you must rule out a medical cause.
It's okay, buddy.
A thorough vet checkup is essential. Many dogs have been unfairly punished for aggression that was simply their only way of crying out in pain. Sign number 7. A lowered head and tucked tail. A dog's posture is a billboard for their physical and emotional state. A healthy, confident German Shepherd carries themselves with pride, head held high, tail relaxed, body loose. When a dog is in chronic pain, that whole picture changes. Their body language shifts from open and confident to closed and defensive. One of the most telling postural changes is a lowered head and a tucked tail. A dog holding their head lower than their shoulders is often trying to relieve pressure on their neck or spine. It's also a general sign of feeling unwell. The tail is an even clearer indicator. A tail tucked tightly under the body is a universal sign of fear, anxiety, or pain. It's the canine equivalent of a person wrapping their arms around themselves when they feel vulnerable. If your normally confident GSD has started carrying their tail low or tucked, they are broadcasting their distress to the world. Look at their back, too. A dog in abdominal or spinal pain may arch their back, a posture known as kyphosis. This is an attempt to relieve pressure. Their muscles may look tense and rigid, especially across their back and shoulders. Instead of the fluid, athletic movement you're used to, their whole body may look stiff and guarded. These postural changes might be constant, or they might only appear at certain times. When you look at your dog, don't just see a German Shepherd. See a collection of signals. Is their head up or down? Is their tail relaxed or tucked? Is their back straight or arched? These changes paint a clear picture of a dog that is suffering. They may not be whining, but their body is screaming in a silent language of discomfort. Your German Shepherd relies on you for everything. But most of all, they rely on you to understand them when they can't speak. Their instinct is to hide their pain and carry their burdens in silence. But as we've learned, they leave clues for those who know how to look. From the slightest hesitation on the stairs, to a new groan when they lie down. From a sudden lack of interest in their favorite game, to a coat that has lost its shine. These are not just signs of getting older. They are often signs of pain. Being a great German Shepherd owner means being a great observer. It means knowing your dog's baseline, their energy, their gait, their habits, so you can spot the subtle shifts that signal a problem. You are their primary health advocate. Never feel like you are overreacting by taking your dog to the vet for a small change in behavior. You're being attentive. You're being responsible. You're being the loyal companion your German Shepherd deserves. If this has helped you better understand your dog, please consider subscribing for more essential guides on caring for your German Shepherd. Your knowledge is their best protection.